If you are a highly sensitivity person, also known as an HSP, how to overcome your inhibitions to be the inspiration that you are actually born for from the very root up. Now, by the end of this video, you will know if you are a highly sensitivity person or an HSP, if you are an empath or an introvert, and you will also gain clarity and direction how to overcome all of your inhibitions to be the liberated inspiration you were born for from the very root up. So let's start from the very root up with an animation. Imagine this heart represents our unharmed and untouched, independent, fulfilled feelings from the moment we are born. This eye represents our authentic eyes through which we learn to see the world. And this blue diamond represents our authentic core from which we are designed to flow over into natural intended abundance from what we authentically have to give. From the moment we are born until now, we all experience painful emotions. And this is the birth of all fear. The fear to feel that unsolved pain ever again. My pain came from having experienced emotional abuse in an unsafe environment, together with being laughed at for being very skinny. I didn't want to feel that pain, so I built a wall around my feelings by starting to look for constant distractions away from my feelings into constant thinking, analyzing, and thinking things through. Do you recognize closing yourself up from your feelings into constant thinking or distractions? Our constant distractions serve as a band-aid on top of our wall of control, as a protection mechanism to not feel our unsolved pain again. Note, when we close ourselves up from our unsolved pain and fear to feel that pain, we also close ourselves up from our authentic eyes, from our authentic, independent, fulfilled feelings, and from our authentic diamond with abundant potential. In that protective state to not get hurt again, we are literally feeling and seeing in darkness. But we found another way to see and feel. We started to adopt and to please the eyes of others, hoping by pleasing and making others feel good, we feel good. Basically, we are looking for a feeling in pleasing the feelings of others by running away from our own feelings. The contradiction shows itself very clearly. Of course, we become very empathic and good at feeling other people's pains because we adopt them as if they are our own. And that is why we develop extreme good manners to make sure others will feel comfortable. Now, watch what happens when, even with all of our pleasing other efforts, others feel and behave bad. Then our distraction band-aid falls away and our wall of control cracks. Unsolved fear and pain erupts through the broken mask in the form of more emotional reactiveness. Of course, we don't want that painful emotional reactions anymore either, so we develop a protection mechanism. A protection mechanism to become very intuitive and go very deep with extreme eye for every detail to find things out, to be able to please our environment even more. We rather create convenience instead of creating trouble for others. And that's why we become good at avoiding any confrontation and at becoming introvert, sometimes to the level of blending in like wallpaper. Your insights and thinking become deeper and deeper as a bandage to not feel unsolved pain again. Because we try constantly to scan to control our entire environment out of fear to feel pain erupting again, we can't handle overstimulating environments because they are too much to handle and to scan. If you look at the drawing, because we are closed up from our own authentic diamond, eyes and feelings, it is only logical that we have big difficulties with making decisions from our core, especially big decisions about love, what our purpose is, etc. Therefore, we are so paralyzed to make our own big decisions out of fear to make bad decisions and to lose control and to feel our unsolved, unsafe feelings again, and because we can't feel and follow our covered, authentic core. If we are closed up from our core, from our feelings and eyes for too long, highly sensitivity people are also more prone to depression and anxiety. If you have most of the traits in this drawing, it is said you are considered to be a highly sensitivity person or an HSP. Having had recognized myself in all of these traits, I believe a highly sensitivity person or an HSP is no different than anybody else's in the core, but only means that we have learned to see and feel through others people's eyes instead of our own, out of fear to feel our own unsolved emotions ever again. And why do I say that? Once we have flushed out our unsolved fear and pain of being brought up in an unsafe or emotional abusive environment, the only thing left to be experienced is the feeling of our independent eyes, what we truly want from our core, and our feelings of independent fulfillment again. When we are cleansed to our unharmed and untouched state again, all of the inhibitions, the protection mechanisms, and the escaping traits of a highly sensitivity person, empath or introvert will be flushed out automatically too. From that cleansed state and independent fulfillment, we become unstoppable to put our discovered inner diamond into intended abundance. Now, what I want you to gain from the video is you are not a label. Even if you recognize yourself in all the traits of a highly sensitivity person, an empath or an introvert, that is not who you truly are. Who you truly are is the unharmed and untouched fulfillment and inner diamond underneath that protection mechanism, waiting for you to be unleashed once all the unsolved issues and protection mechanisms that have been covering you are flushed out once and for all. The most important thing labeled highly sensitive people need to learn, apart from liberating themselves from the very root up from all limiting unsolved issues and protection mechanisms, is to learn to set boundaries. Because when we forgot to look and feel through our own eyes and feelings, we also flushed out our own proper boundaries too. And we will have to learn it from scratch again. Now, every disadvantage also has a big advantage. Now, having developed extra skills of empathy and intuition are very powerful traits to be able to truly help others. But we need to learn to put our own oxygen mask first instead of helping others we feel empathy for. Because this is the only way we can keep helping others in abundance. Now, we need to know the difference between a boundary and a barrier or an inhibition. Do you want to know how to set your boundaries properly? Click here. When you want to learn to flush out all of your inhibiting, limiting, unsolved issues, your traumas, your protection mechanisms that stand in between of your intended liberated life, click here. Now, enjoy your purpose-driven life together with your advanced skills of empathy and intuition.